Good afternoon and thank you for joining us. Brand new week to talk the Niger Delta region. My name is Xavier Robert and it's your trusted platform for conversations that shape the future of the Niger Delta. Across the Niger Delta, state governments are increasingly looking beyond federal allocations by pursuing investments capable of creating jobs, expanding industries and diversifying their economies. One of the latest efforts in that direction is the Delta State Economic and Investment Summit, a three-day event starting today, which we gather has already attracted global economic leaders, policymakers, investors, and business executives to chart a new course for investment and sustainable development. Today, we examine where conversations can translate into measurable prosperity for ordinary citizens and what lessons other Niger Delta states can draw from the initiative. Well, Sifan Oja is just next to me. And Sifan, good afternoon to you. How are you? It's a brand new week.
Yeah, it's a brand new week. It's good to be back.
Yes. How are you? And how did you spend your weekend?
Fine. Just terrific.
Yeah, it's good to know.
All right.
Well, let's start with our story of interest now, taking us to issues within the Niger Delta region. For decades, the Niger Delta has remained one of Nigeria's richest regions in terms of oil, gas, agriculture, waterways, and human capital. Yet many young people continue to leave the region in search of better economic opportunities abroad, often exposing themselves to uncertainty, exploitation, and in some cases, life-threatening situations. That reality has once again come into focus following the return of Nigerians evacuated from South Africa after the recent wave of xenophobic attacks in Delta State. Governor Sheriff Oborevori announced a comprehensive reintegration package for 86 returnees, including 2 million naira for each affected family, monthly stipends of between 200,000 naira and 300,000 naira, free medical screening, trauma counseling, and business support. Now, in neighboring Edo State, a similar event took place as Governor Mondo Okpebholo approved a 41 million naira intervention, providing 1 million naira to each of the 41 returnees, alongside soft loans to help them rebuild their lives. Now, while these interventions offer immediate relief, they also reopen a larger conversation about the Niger Delta itself, with its enormous natural resources, strategic maritime location, expanding energy sector, and growing entrepreneurial population. Should the region still be exporting its young people in search of survival, or should it be creating the conditions that attract investment, retain talent, and make migration a matter of choice rather than necessity? To help us examine these critical questions, we're now joined by Chief Easy Yakia. He's the National Coordinator of the Niger Delta Media Activist Group. Good afternoon to you, Chief Yakia. Thank you for joining us in the program this afternoon.
Good afternoon, Chief, and thank you for joining us.
My brother, good afternoon. How are you?
Hey, thank you for joining us. Well,
How are
let's start right away with the realities in South Africa, which have, of course, led to a lot of returnees. And we also, the Niger Delta had its own fair share of returnees who luckily were received by their different state governments and were also awarded relief materials, which has been commended across the region as, you know, people-centric and indeed a show of enthusiasm regarding these returnees, and an effort that has been appraised as helpful for the persons that have come back, which would help them resettle in their different states. But then, when you heard of these issues in South Africa, which is of course not new to us, what were the first things that came to mind? And what does it remind you of when we talk about development in the Niger Delta region and across Nigeria as a whole? If you can hear me, the question is around South Africa and the recent xenophobic attacks which took place in that country, which has led to a wave of return from Nigerians. And the Niger Delta indeed has also had its own fair share of returnees, with different state governments intervening and helping resettle the returnees, and the different reactions that have come in, appreciating the separate state governments about the work that they are doing to resettle these returnees. What has been your impression regarding the xenophobic attacks in South Africa targeted at Nigerians and perhaps other African countries? And what does that remind you about the work that still needs to be done regarding development in the state, which is geared towards discouraging indiscriminate movements, so search for greener pastures outside the country? Well, we'll take a pause, and when we return, shall be able to speak to Easy here.
Every day, decisions are made, policies are announced, challenges emerge, and lives are changed. But beyond the headlines, beyond the politics, beyond the noise, are the conversations that matter. On Softline, Nigeria's leading voices unpack the issues shaping our future, from governance to business, education, healthcare, technology, security, and the economy. Real conversations, expert insights, solutions that move the nation forward. Because understanding today's decisions shapes tomorrow's opportunities. Now airing 4 p.m. every weekday and Saturdays. Softline, where informed decisions begin.
An impact in humanitarian industry.
I am so delighted. I'm very happy to be a winner of Ease and Cruising.
Download the app and you may be the next week lucky winner.
We have been able to give you a different perspective to entertainment program. We don't only entertain you with good musicals. We celebrate Nigerians. Watch it, participate, and feel the cruising moments.
Every day, across forests, highways, towns and villages, brave men and women stand watch so that Nigeria can sleep. They leave their families behind, confront danger head-on, and make sacrifices many of us will never see. Yet, the enemies of our nation continue their assault. They target our children. They murder innocent citizens. They force families from their homes. They turn thriving communities into places of fear and uncertainty. Their goal is simple: to break our spirit, divide our people, and steal the future of our nation. But Nigeria is stronger than terror. As we demand greater accountability, stronger security measures, and more effective action from those entrusted with our safety, we must also play our part. Support our security forces, salute their gallantry, stand with those who stand for us. If you see something, say something. Let us be our brother's keeper. We must never surrender to fear, despair, or hopelessness. This is not the time for division, not by tribe, not by religion, not by region, not by political party. Because terror recognizes no ethnicity, no faith, and no ideology. Its enemy is all of us. And together, united as one people, we can defeat it. For our children, for our communities, for our future, for Nigeria. Join the movement. Stand for our country. Stand for one another. Hashtag Unite Against Terror.
Every second, a story breaks.
President Bola Ahmed Tinubu has formally presented the 2026 appropriation bill to the National Assembly.
The nation reacts. The world shifts. History moves in real time. Before the noise, before the opinions. One screen keeps you connected. Headlines shaking the nation to the stories everyone talks about tomorrow. Stream anytime, anywhere. When the story matters, you know where to turn. Adbn. A part of you.
The global business is never static. Watch the market report on Adbn TV for business information, latest happening business deals, government economic policies, stock, crude oil, commodity trading, finance and downstick, and the world of organized private sector. The market report showing on Adbn TV 1 to 2 p.m. Monday to Friday. The market report bringing you up to speed in the business world.
Every day, decisions are made, policies are announced, challenges emerge, and lives are changed. But beyond the headlines, beyond the politics, beyond the noise, are the conversations that matter. On Softline, Nigeria's leading voices unpack the issues shaping our future, from governance, education, healthcare, technology, security, and the economy. Real conversations, expert insights, solutions that move the nation forward. Because understanding today's decisions shapes tomorrow's opportunities. Now airing 4 p.m. every weekday and Saturdays. Softline, where informed decisions begin.
Well, we still hope to connect with Chief Easy here on the conversation around xenophobic attacks in the Niger Delta, with the returnees of the Niger Delta and the intervention of different state governments. We'll bring you Niger Delta updates first, beginning with Edo State, where Governor Senator Mondo Pueblo has called on Edo indigents in the United Kingdom to support President Bola Tinubu's re-election in 2027, describing continuity at the federal level as key to sustaining development in the state. The governor also urged the diaspora to invest their expertise, resources, and global networks in Edo's growth, saying the state is increasingly positioning itself as a destination for investment and economic opportunities.
It's for Edo to be comfortable. It's for us to be comfortable. That is what we are doing. I decided to remove self out of governance. It is not easy. Day and night we are not sleeping. But today, I am proud to say that many people are testifying that Edo is one of the safest states today. I confidently say that Edo is one of the biggest beneficiaries of the President Bola Ahmed Tinubu administration. The President has assured me that Edo State continue to benefit from every major national development initiative, and I have every reason to believe that all state has benefited from the President. I am confident that it will be the President.
Away from that, government and stakeholders in Cross River are seeking for new ways of responding to emerging security threats in the region. At a security summit in Calabar, government and the stakeholders highlighted how closer collaboration, intelligence sharing, and community participation can strengthen the fight against crimes. The Deputy Governor of Cross River, Peter Ode, says the state has moved through a difficult period where kidnapping and crime created fear and disrupted economic activities. The event themed Unite Against Terror took place at the Metropolitan Hotel, Calabar.
The theme of today's summit, Cross River State Unite Against Terror, is a clear declaration. We say no to kidnapping, no to armed robbery, no to banditry, and no to cultism. No to anything that threatens the lives, property, and dignity of our people. This summit is therefore not just another meeting. It is a united call to action, a moment for all of us to declare our stand against terror in Cross River State.
This security summit is therefore designed to become a platform for dialogue, collaboration, innovation, intelligence sharing, and practical solutions that will strengthen our collective capacity to prevent threats before they occur.
The leadership of the Niger Delta ex-agitators Phase 3 in Delta State has declared its support for the re-election of President Bola Tinubu and Senate President Godswill Akpabio in the 2027 general elections. The endorsement was made in Warri during the inauguration of newly elected executive members who will pilot the affairs of Phase 3 beneficiaries of the presidential amnesty program in the state for the next 2 years. Speaking shortly after his inauguration, the newly elected chairman, Julius Omoibo, commended President Tinubu for appointing Dr. Dennis Sotaro as administrator of the presidential amnesty program, describing the appointment as a step that has strengthened peace and stability in the region.
Fighting, those who is fighting, they are doing mistakes. They have to make sure to go back and think the needful, what is supposed to do. The man is a man where you can approach and they will listen to you. He's a nice man, but some of them they misquote the man because the training is very hard from issue for different community. If you are not even amnesty, if they go to school.
We expect the new government to take share and respect leaders, followers, and carry everybody along. Some of the all problem has not come from just a made-up. Some problem are genuine problem. When you see genuine problem, you have to deal with those genuine problems. Being as a state chairman, he should look the one that he can address in a peaceful manner. Is actually one that he can use. He can take up to the coordinator or the administrator that these people complain are genuine. Those are areas to address some of the problems.
Any good man, they must criticize him. But we see him as one of the best in the program. And we know that today is the best man in the program. We inaugurate this man today, Julius Omoibo, today into state chairman to help him to calm the situation in the Niger Delta so that we may be peace in the Niger Delta.
The Delta State Police Command has arrested a suspected human trafficker and rescued a 25-year-old woman allegedly trafficked to Côte d'Ivoire under the guise of learning hairdressing but forced into prostitution. Police said the suspect, 26-year-old Esse Betty, confessed to trafficking the victim and another young woman to Côte d'Ivoire, where they were allegedly handed over for prostitution. The rescued victim has been reunited with her family and is receiving medical care, while efforts continue to rescue the second victim and arrest other members of the trafficking syndicate. The Commissioner of Police, Delta State Command Yemi Oyeniyi, commended the officers involved and reaffirmed the government's commitment to tackling human trafficking and other organized crimes.
And lastly, on Niger Delta update today, the Asaba of Asaba, Professor Epiphany Azinge, SAN, former resident electoral commissioner of the Independent National Electoral Commission, INEC, Honorable Mike Igene, and stakeholders from across Nigeria's governance and democratic space have called for far-reaching electoral reforms, stronger democratic institutions, and increased citizens' participation as the country prepares for the 2027 general elections. The consensus emerged at the 2026 edition of Bell Dialogue, an annual public policy forum organized by Bell Media Consult Limited, where participants stressed that democracy can only thrive when electoral processes are transparent, institutions remain independent, and governance reflects the genuine will of the people. Receiving members
be equipped to ensure that your votes count. It reminds us that democracy is far more than the conduct of periodic elections. It thrives when institutions are credible, leadership is accountable, citizens are actively engaged, and the rule of law is upheld with fairness, transparency, and justice.
That outcome should not be uttered at the World Collation Center, at local government collation center. And that is why we decided to have the IREC, so that from the polling unit, the result will be there for everyone to see, in which case it will be difficult for the ward collation officer, local government collation officer, to alter the results. We use it to conduct 105 elections, including off-season elections, including 5 governorship elections. Be honest, identify what works, what has not worked well, so that it will form part of the public policy document, community that will emanate from this engagement today.
Nigeria is in a country where we seem to be developing and going back, and most time we seem to accuse our certain persons of being the major problems of the country. So we felt that now let us see, there's already a problem. And what is the solution of that problem? That's actually the main reason that engineered this very team, to see how we can bring out the whole problem together and now look for solution at the end of the day. I think that's what we were able to drive at. Because most times we blame the politicians for being the key problems of this country. But we, the other players, we don't take responsibility. I think that's where we looked at, okay, this democracy at work, which first of all we agree that there's democracy, somehow is working, then how are we now going to drive from the voters' end or from the votes to accountability of governance?
Well, that's it on Niger Delta Update. Don't go away.
Every second, a story breaks.
President Bola Ahmed Tinubu has formally presented the 2026 appropriation bill to the National Assembly.
The nation reacts. The world shifts. History moves in real time. Before the noise, before the opinions. One screen keeps you connected. From the headlines shaking the nation to the stories everyone talks about tomorrow. Stream anytime, anywhere. When the story matters, you know where to turn. ADBN. A part of you.
An impact in humanitarian industry.
I am so delighted. I'm very happy to be a winner of Hills and Cruising.
Download the app and you may be the next week lucky winner.
We have been able to give you a different perspective to entertainment program. We don't only entertain you with good musicals. We celebrate Nigerians. Watch it, participate, and feel the cruising moment.
Every day, across forests, highways, towns, and villages, brave men and women stand watch so that Nigeria can sleep. They leave their families behind, confront danger head-on, and make sacrifices many of us will never see. Yet, the enemies of our nation continue their assault. They target our children. They murder innocent citizens. They force families from their homes. They turn thriving communities into places of fear and uncertainty. Their goal is simple: to break our spirit, divide our people, and steal the future of our nation. But Nigeria is stronger than terror. As we demand greater accountability, stronger security measures, and more effective action from those entrusted with our safety, we must also play our part. Support our security forces, salute their gallantry, stand with those who stand for us. If you see something, say something. Let us be our brother's keeper. We must never surrender to fear, despair, or hopelessness. This is not the time for division, not by tribe, not by religion, not by region, not by political party. Because terror recognizes no ethnicity, no faith, and no ideology. Its enemy is all of us. And together, united as one people, we can defeat it. For our children, for our communities, for our future, for Nigeria. Join the movement. Stand for our country. Stand for one another. Hashtag Unite Against Terror.
Every day, decisions are made, policies are announced, challenges emerge, and lives are changed. But beyond the headlines, beyond the politics, beyond the noise, are the conversations that matter. On Softline, Nigeria's leading voices unpack the issues shaping our future, from governance to business, education, healthcare, technology, security, and the economy. Real conversations, expert insights, solutions that move the nation forward. Because understanding today's decisions shapes tomorrow's opportunities. Now airing 4 p.m. every weekday and Saturdays. Softline, where informed decisions begin.
Every second, a story breaks.
President Bola Ahmed Tinubu has formally presented the 2026 appropriation bill to the National Assembly.
The nation reacts. The world shifts. History moves in real time. Before the noise, before the opinions. One screen keeps you connected. From the headlines shaking the nation to the stories everyone talks about tomorrow. Stream anytime, anywhere. When the story matters, you know where to turn. ADBN. A part of you.
The Niger Delta is one of the most prominent regions in Nigeria, endowed with several water bodies that are distributed as freshwaters like rivers, lakes, streams, and creeks. Apart from the freshwaters, the region also has vast marine ecosystem such as marine groove swamps, periwinkle crayfish, oysters, and others. Fish is packed with nutrients that most people are lacking. This includes high-quality protein, iodine, various vitamins, and minerals. Interestingly, the fisheries sector is an essential aspect of the world economy in terms of employment, food security, enterprise development, foreign exchange, earnings, and other economic benefits. Iwochang is a riverine community in Ibona local government area of Akwa Ibom State that witnesses influx of people from various parts of the world who come in to trade daily on a commercial quantity. Let's go to Iwochang River.
This is Iwochang, a popular fish market in Eket's local government area. And as you can see in front of me, there is a basket full of fish. As I think there are 2 baskets full of fish, and there is a lady here who is a marketer of this fish, and she's going to tell us the benefits of these fishes and what it costs or what it implies for her to get these fishes and what she's going to do with these fishes. So, Madam Grace, right?
Mary.
Okay, Mary. So, we have a basket full of fish here, and some of us might not really know the benefit of fishes to them. So kindly tell us, first of all, what's the benefit of fish to the human body?
We have fishes like anaga and kuka. Our land is not good for planting, but rather it is good for fishing and other riverine activities.
My discussions with some fishermen also revealed the challenges while joining into the middle of the sea to harvest fishes for sale.
The process of fishing, you have to get the material such as engine. Engine has to be the most difficult things. Without the engine, there's nothing we can do. After you get the engine, you get the boat, plank boat, you get the marine rope, and all that. When you get this intact, then you will continue with fishing. When we get to the high ocean, we have to set the net inside the water. We have a very long stick. Without a long stick, we cannot fish. The net must be open by use a marine rope to tie the stick. You can see, let me make a reference to that long stick that's there. I think you saw it. So you will extend that fishing, that net. After you've done that, you will set into the water and you start the engine, we move. That is how we are doing the business. It is very, very lucrative business, but presently because of this cost of fuel, it will bring the profit down the way we are expecting it to be. Before, when we are buying fuel at rate of 150 per liter, Anything that went to fishing in a day get like a 10 basi. Then they are selling crayfish at 30,000, 25,000. So automatically you buy for maybe 95,000. After you do the calculation, you will reduce the fuel money. Then the profit can get like a gain of 300, 350. That's how the business it is.
The process of catching the fish is very hard, more especially in this rainy season. It's not easy at all. No easy because before you go come out, the weather don't change. And the weather don't change like this, the thunder and then the storm. It's not good inside sea. So all those stuff, they disturb fishermen well. I know they agree make fishermen take also in time. But when it's in drying season, at that time where the business they move out, all those sea pirates, they don't agree for
5 months maximum. And then after 5 months, we weigh it. It attended 1 kg. So that was when we knew it was due for processing. The method of processing is quite different depending on your customer's demand. Now we have seasoned catfish and then we have unspiced catfish. Now this catfish could be spiced to any level you want them. We have ginger spice, we have pepper spice, we have onion spice, and also we have the ones that are not spice, depending on customers' demand. So this particular one I'm holding is not spice because the customer does not want it to be spiced. And this is sold at 3,000 per kg. This is 3,000 naira. This is a kg of fresh, but after drying, this one will not give you a kg. So this is 3,000 naira each. We also have another one. Here we have Adbn. This is one of the type of fish we process here. You can see how it is. You know them with their head size. Then this is a akwe. Ekodonyem akwe. You can see. So this is another type of fish that is being processed here. Then we have akpanata. A lot of people love this fish because it doesn't scatter in the food. So this is akpanata, one of its kind, one of the fish that is selling most in this part of Akwa Ibom State, akpanata.
With the blue economy being a major concern, there is no doubt that with the needed attention, the sector can become a major driver of the nation's economy. David Isong.
Thank you very much, David. Well, we'll shift our attention to the focus of the day. In every community, there are people whose work quietly shapes the way we live, from the furniture in our homes to the structures that support businesses and public spaces. Skilled craftsmen remain an essential part of local economic growth. Across the Niger Delta, artisans continue to preserve traditional craftsmanship while adapting to modern demands, creating jobs, monitoring apprentices, and contributing to community development despite economic challenges. Today on our Spotlight segment, we turn the attention to one of those skilled hands making an impact through craftsmanship. Joining us is Emmanuel Atat, a craftsman whose work reflects the resilience, creativity, and entrepreneurial spirit found across the Niger Delta. We'll explore his journey, the realities of the trade, and what it takes to build a sustainable livelihood through craftsmanship in today's economy. So we have Emmanuel.
Yes.
Thank you for joining us.
Okay, please, thank you. I appreciate this. I'm Emmanuel.
You're welcome to the program. Thank you for joining us, Emmanuel. Well, tell us a little bit about your journey in the crafts world, and perhaps what inspired you to take up this skill as something you felt could be beneficial to you on the long run. What has it been like?
Actually, it has really been could I say, a smooth journey, because when you desire something from passion, no matter how challenging it is, you just take it a journey as a process. So it's really lucrative, but the challenges we have in bamboo, most especially the one I venture into, it on bamboo crafting. So we make furniture, cabinets with bamboo, but the challenges we have is actually the bamboo usually brings out weevils. So with that, we may need some kind of partnership or maybe investment into it. But the process, while I commenced the work, I was really having a good turnout because people really like innovations, because bamboo is not really common within us here, and the raw material is readily available in our community here in Akwa Ibom, most especially at Tinan, yes.
So what's the problem that you saw that necessitated this idea of using bamboo to create these furniture?
Yes, well, actually, where I'm from, it comes from a Tinan local government. Yes, please, I can just say kudos to the chairman because he supported my project. Yes, he's Honorable Komo. So what actually happened, what necessitated this was we don't have power supply, and again, we are challenged with network. So I'm more of using those things, but while I was back home, you know, I couldn't really navigate with what they are doing. Most of them, they invest in palm fruits, oil palm and that. So I was like, okay, I could facilitate with this. So I opted into YouTube and I saw some videos of how to craft and those things. So I ventured into it, and I found out that it is something quite lucrative. But before now, I've always been going to schools, commercial and public schools, to teach people freely how to craft baby baskets, chairs, even to do ikpo. They will be used to climb palm fruits just to help them with handwork. So over time, I actually hire people for that. But I realized that because I need to pay those people to come for that, and sometimes being that I'm also within there, I'm not really generating fun. I decided to, okay, let me find a way to learn it. So I started with a basket. If it was possible, I would have presented, but some other time we'll get to that. I started with basket, crafting basket. There's one elderly man that taught me how to craft basket. From there, he gave me the idea. Also, this thing, I don't need to really hire people to do it. I can commence on my own. So with that, I use the advantage of the internet, and like I will be downloading YouTube videos and try to follow it step by step.
So apart from these YouTube videos, have you gone for any training outside using your online do something platform to learn this skill?
Actually, I've gone for outside training because I partner with furniture, like people that learn carpentry and that learn work. So with that, they also infuse some of the skills in there. I actually go to few years.
All right. Well, every successful craftsman would usually have some work or a specific work that they have done that stands out, that is memorable to them, something that they did that, you know, gave them that conviction that, yes, this is a part to toe, and they did not make any mistake choosing the line of work that they choose to do. What's that work that set aside your skill and made you realize this is it, and this is what I want to do, and I'm going to scale this particular skill?
Yes, regarding that, what really commenced this was that most of the time, anything I venture into, I put all my energy to it. So regarding this crafting, it was actually that I realized that in the community we need these things, and it's really not really accessible like it should, because sometimes people may even need these chairs that are just within the community, but it's not available. So I looked at it that, okay, since I'm really available, I could impact the community, the society, and, you know, give people opportunity to realize, understand that there are things that they could reach out to, which are readily here with us. So with that was a passion. I realized that most of the time, this thing is quite eco-friendly. So in the process of going into that, I was lucky, and someone presented me to his, like I mentioned, Honorable Komo, chairman of the Tina. So as he gave me support to buy tools, that facilitated my work. In the process, Adbn found me worthy, and they invited me to come and share the experience.
Okay, can you walk us through the process involved in making this bamboo to the finished product, from going to the forest?
Oh yes, well, I'm actually, maybe like I said earlier, some other times we get more videos. We go to the farm because we get to the bush, we fetch bamboos. Then in the process of fetching the bamboos, we get back, and well, there are some, so you need to be a bit careful, because bamboo is something that is also quite, you know, fragile. If you are not careful, it could get hot. So in the process, and once you get it back home, that is just the next thing you know, but you need some tools to run it though.
Is there a specific skill that you need to have to be able to make the best of what you want to make? Is there an inborn trait that perhaps you need to have inside? Is it just a skill that anybody can acquire, or you need to be creative? That level of creativity has to be there to be able to achieve the kind of crafts that you put out.
Absolutely. I will say that it is something that anyone could learn, like we are learning the second language, English, which are speaking fluently, yes. So it's a skill that anyone could just acquire. If you are committed to it, you can acquire it. It's just accessible. It's really something that doesn't really, it really, like if I put you through a course of making it, maybe probably a cabinet, you wouldn't take beyond 2 weeks to master it. Yes, just probably a certain design or not, because they have sorted design of bamboo. We can even build with it. And besides, not just that we do bamboo, we do basket with bamboo, and not just bamboo itself, we do craft inclusively, every other craft, not just bamboo, because we are partnering with other people. Like we're advancing now to do drums, but that is in the process, and do a lot of other things that are there in the journey.
So how's the business, the patronage, and do you have a particular target market?
Yes, the patronage is quite high. My market is really going to be, you have resort centers, you have outdoors, even confectionaries, like in the international airport, like, because the last time I was at this National Theatre, Lagos State, so I saw the craft there, which is more like, we have more of these products here. Yeah, so now it's something that could be exported, that could be sold beyond Nigeria, because there are some parts of the world that don't have bamboo. That's why China is really making out of it. But the challenge we have is, it's really lucrative, like you said. I have a high demand of orders, but like I've said, I need to up the game, because it's not always okay when I do it and weevils come in between. Yeah.
So what are some of those things that you need to resolve to ensure that you don't run at a loss? Are you talking about partnership, more partnership?
This thing will soak into the chemical, will absorb them all. Then in that process, your bamboo will last. And the sincere bamboo chairs, bamboo furnitures are so strong and are so lovely. Like the ones I have, maybe with time I'll donate one to Adbn television. It's so reserved, for Kingsmen. You can also use that for your palace.
All right. Well, drive it home for us now as we wind down this particular segment. Talk to us about the persons that have worked under you. Have you been able to produce like minds, like yourself, that have been interested in the craft and have also been doing well? And if you were to look across the Niger Delta region, you think that this is something that can go a long way if we had, investments into it to sort of scale the kind of work that you do in this particular specific aspect of craftsmanship?
Yes, well, yeah, actually, that's very true. Being that, you see, what we don't take advantage on sometimes is those things are readily available. I have worked with Daniel Williams. He's a good partner to me. Whenever I call on him, he comes to me. I work with Kingsley Wang. He's in Ekate. Yeah, he's my cousin.
Daniel Williams.
Yes.
He's also an artist?
Yes, he scopes, he draws, he could sketch you while we are discussing. He's just sketch you out. So he's good at that. Then Kingsley, my cousin, he's also he's a craftsman. He's good at delivering. He's also more into electrical, but he's someone that has inspired me to work, to deliver. You get it? So bamboo is something that, if you find out, bamboo has varieties of, but I want to focus more on bamboo now. It has, there's a time I discussed with one of my community person that, okay, look at it though, Eyes of Men, that look at it, the way this, because the bamboo process was so highly demanded, sooner if I can get the support or however it turned out, that I'll consume all the bamboo from my village, Shikon Fund. So the person was like, okay, I will manafin a fund. That is in my dialect, means that, okay, they no born me well, okay, there is no how I can exhaust the bamboo in the community. So you can realize, meanwhile, bamboo is something that you can build with bamboo. You build houses with bamboo. As in, not like the frame one, I mean, just like structure a bamboo. You have a bed, a relaxed a lot of things are achieved with bamboo.
All right. Well, Emmanuel Tat, you also know that you would agree that when we talk about environmental sustenance, as you fail the bamboo, it was also supposed to plant new ones to
Exactly.
replenish the ones that you've already taken to ensure that this environment is sustained. Do you guys uphold that particular practice?
Yeah, that's interesting. That is what I was saying. What really happened in bamboo is that it looks so difficult for you to even destroy a bamboo. As soon as you just take down one tree, get back the next 3 days, you have 20 germinating from that same spot. Yeah, exactly.
So it makes
it automatically regrow itself. You don't even. It's like a river. You can't just fetch water and it's all finished. As you just take, I don't know, nature returns it.
Yeah.
So yes.
That's a very good one. We must thank you very much, Emmanuel Atat, for speaking to us on this particular issue, and we're hoping that the areas that you need intervention to be able to do more would be provided. Thank you for talking to us.
Thank you for your time. It's been a pleasure.
Okay.
So we'll
it's
take
a pleasure.
a pause here and return with a connection with our correspondent Charles Kosipre, who is at Delta State, where they've commenced a 3-day economic and investment summit in Asaba with an ambitious agenda to position the state as one of Nigeria's foremost investment destinations. The summit has attracted high-profile participants, including Vice President Kashim Shettima, Director General of the World Trade Organization, Dr. Ngozi Okonjo-Iweala, renowned Pan-African scholar Professor Patrick Lumumba, investors, development partners, and captains of industry. Discussions are centered on unlocking opportunities across energy, agriculture, manufacturing, mining, tourism, the digital economy, infrastructure, and the Delta Special Economic Zone. We'll take a pause and bring you that conversation real quick.
Every day, across forests, highways, towns, and villages, brave men and women stand watch so that Nigeria can sleep. They leave their families behind, confront danger head-on, and make sacrifices many of us will never see. Yet, the enemies of our nation continue their assault. They target our children. They murder innocent citizens. They force families from their homes. They turn thriving communities into places of fear and uncertainty. Their goal is simple: to break our spirit, divide our people, and steal the future of our nation. But Nigeria is stronger than terror. As we demand greater accountability, stronger security measures, and more effective action from those entrusted with our safety, we must also play our part. Support our security forces, salute their gallantry, stand with those who stand for us. If you see something, say something. Let us be our brother's keeper. We must never surrender to fear, despair, or hopelessness. This is not the time for division, not by tribe, not by religion, not by region, not by political party. Because terror recognizes no ethnicity, no faith, and no ideology. Its enemy is all of us. And together, united as one people, we can defeat it. For our children, for our communities, for our future, for Nigeria. Join the movement. Stand for our country. Stand for one another. Hashtag Unite Against Terror.
Thanks for staying. We connect to Charles Kosipre in Delta State to bring us some updates regarding the Economic Summit and Investment Summit ongoing in Delta State currently. Good afternoon, Charles. Thank you for joining us.
Thank you for joining us, Charles.
Good afternoon, Xavier. Thank you for having
Charles,
me on the program.
With what the summit is like. We know that the Vice President is in Delta State, and with this 3-day summit that has served off in Delta State, what are the expectations for not just Delta now, but across the Niger Delta?
The expectations is that the summit will go beyond discussions, and Deltans are looking forward to concrete investment commitments, policies, recommendations, strategic partnership, and actionable outcomes that will stimulate economic activities, create employment, and improve livelihood, and position Delta as one of the Nigeria's leading investment destinations. That's the expectation. And that is where the state government is going to, by organizing this investment summit as a platform for investors, development partners, and entrepreneurs among other stakeholders, to discuss practical ways of accelerating economic growth and sustainable development in Delta State.
All right, well, Charles, you can be our eyes right there in Delta. Speak to us about what has already unfolded in day one of the Investment and Economic Summit in Delta State. What do we know so far since the event started today?
The event started at exactly 10 o'clock. Exactly 10 o'clock, the event started. And then the first speaker was the Secretary to the Delta State Government, Dr. Kisley Emu, that came in to give his welcome address and pointed out areas where Delta is showcasing our strength. You understand? He pointed out 5 thematic areas that Delta is showcasing our strength, where people can come in, investors can come in with their money and invest. And one of them is agriculture. That's the main area where they are looking for investors to come in. Secondly, they're also looking at the blue economy, where the 4 seaports in Delta State can be utilized for the blue economy. They're also looking at transportation. On that second, the blue economy, you have transportation there. We also have infrastructure. Then they're also looking at digital innovation where investors can come in. They're looking at real estate development, that's housing, where they can develop housing for low-income earners and the medium-income earners. So that is those areas, about 5 of them that the state government is looking at showcasing. They're also looking at oil and gas, where people can come in, investors can come in and then invest in oil and gas. And they're also showcasing their special economic zones.
All right, Charles.
In cocoa, they have one of them in cocoa. We also have in Kwale. They are looking at showcasing those economic zones. And then just a few minutes ago, one of the keynote speakers, Dr. Ngozi Okojo-Iweala, she just finished her presentation, and she was pointing out or highlighting that the World Trade Organization is aware of these special economic zones in Delta State, and that the federal government should do well to support the state government, that's the Delta State government, to develop these zones.
All right, Charles. We are completely out of time, but I know that we're supposed to speak with MD Delta Special Economic Zone, but that time would fail us to do that. Now, there's this conversation around summits of this nature. Is it possible that after all of the talk, the beautiful conversations that will be had at the Delta Summit today, a lot of people would be concerned and interested about the outcomes? What would be the inspiration that will come out of this towards ensuring that the agreements that have been made bring about some concrete establishments across the Niger Delta region? What do you think that this summit would do, just away from just talks alone? In just 30 seconds, please.
Okay. The Delta State Governor, Right Honorable Sheriff Oborwori, before now, have put in place measures. People